guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gav, aka BEYTEK, and today in this video we're going to be taking apart my RX-7 brake servo, and I'm going to see if I can replace it with a Tesla one. Reason for me to do this, these are getting old, it's getting leaky, the brakes are a bit vague sometimes. The cams in this engine are so large that they don't create enough vacuum when I'm idling to put the brakes on adequately, so it's okay at the top of the track and when you're on overrun, but I would prefer to have better brakes all the time. So to get rid of the vacuum side of things and have an electric booster, this is going to be a benefit to me, might be benefit to any other RX-7 owner that's thinking about upgrading their brakes as well. So but yeah, first thing I'm going to do anyway is start assembling this and see if I can pull this out, try and remember how to do it. I think it's 4 bolts on the inside and then this whole thing will come off. We'll look at like cutting new plates for fitting the new one and the lines and adaptations that we need to make it work. Right lads, whipped the old one off, and as we can see it's around about probably 4.8 kilograms on the standard one, which is that was heavier than I thought it was going to be. And then the Tesla one, which should be quite a bit heavier, like 5 kilograms, something like that. So it's not a wild amount of difference. We're talking grams heavier than the original, so it's not too much of an issue. Plus this thing here won't fit, these things here won't fit, so we'll need to drill new holes, but I reckon it's doable. Maybe even see if I can use the standard clevis in here. Maybe need to weld a little bit on. Not sure if I've just gotten lucky or not, but this literally screws onto there. So the RX-7 bolt holes, 2 of them actually line up. You might need to give them a little bit of a fettle with the die grinder, and then this fits bang onto it too. So I'll see about getting the lengths and stuff like that, but like so far it's been a pretty simple swap. All I've done is put that onto it and I die grinded the holes slightly and it fitted on. It bolts onto the original bolt holes as well. So yeah, so far this is seeming like quite an easy swap. Right guys, so I've got the wiring out here. I'm going over some bits and bobs. So these 2 wires here are our main lives. You want them positive all the time for the battery. This is chassis ground. This one here, which is like a green and purple, but it's on that pin there on the plug, that's switched live. Switch that live on, and then these ones are actually the ones that just go to this pedal position sensor here. These CAN bus you don't need to use, and I'll set up the camera to show you this working. So I'm just using my power probe, which isn't like big current, but you should see it moving anyway. If I can get my wires to stay still. Right. Power on, and then look at that, nice and easy, just by hand. And if I switch it off, can't move it. So well, you can with a pedal, but it's going to be nice and light. I'll finish the soldering up just now, and I'll neaten his wires up and stuff. And then I'll work on the next stage, which is trying to get better fittings for these. Right, so all wired up, made this wee loom up here. It's all nice and neat, nice and tidy. I've got these banjos here that I'm going to use. I'll chop here. I'm going to TIG on the brake unions I was talking about a wee second ago. So, and we'll see if we get any leaks. I should probably have it facing up the way, to be honest. And then that way it'd be easier for it to bleed, because the air would come at the top. I might actually do that instead. Right, so that's it now mounted in place. Made these unions up here to AN10, sorry, M10 I should say, and they will come up around here, and then I'll connect into the original lines. And underneath here, I don't know if you can see the standard, the standard clevis pin is in onto the Tesla booster, and it's all bolted in as well. Just like that. So now we've got pedals. Now just on to doing brake lines. Now that that's all mounted, the banjo's to M10, and then down this one here just goes straight to the back, and then this one here will come to the front, split off front wheels. So nice and simple. Right lads, that's the motor in. See, it tilts to the side a little bit. Must be just something to do with my mounting holes, but everything is in, all plumbed in. I've not got brake fluid to bleed the system, but I have had it wired in, and it does work absolutely perfect. And I can push it with my hand easy enough with no motor connected. So I will have brakes if the motors were to fail. Obviously, they're designed like that, so yes, I will get some brake fluid probably tomorrow, and I might change this top piece here to like a more upright one rather than coming forward. Doesn't need to be that size. My brakes don't have a massive capacity. I mean, the front brakes are standard of a Mazda 6 estate car actually. The backs are standard RX-7, but they're under 300mm, so the caliper's not that big. So I don't really need the big capacity there, but this one will do for now. So, everything all plumbed up now, all full. And then pushing down here, it's as far as we can go. So the brakes are nice and bled. Ignition on. I'm really excited to see how these feel because that is a lot easier to push than what it was before. I'm excited to see how these brakes are now, boys.